With me tonight from Washington, D.C. is Amy Holmes, who's a political analyst for CNN. And in New York with me tonight is Jami Floyd, an anchor for In Session. We got to begin with this Huxtable Effect, guys. This is fascinating to me. So now it's been 25 years just about since the Cosby Show first went on the air, and now Bill Cosby himself saying his show may in fact have had an influence on Obama making history. I want to read to you some of what he told the LA Times. Quote, "I can't negate the theory that the Huxtables on the Cosby Show may have helped pave the way for the Obama family. For all those people who said they didn't know any black folks like the Huxtables, I wonder if they will watch the show now." Amy Holmes, over to you first. Do you see the connection?
Well, AJ, I can tell you that the Cosby Show was must-see TV in the Holmes family. We got together Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, I think it was, and get together and watch it. And I respect Bill Cosby so much for presenting such a positive role model for African Americans and for all of America. But as far as the New York Times piece trying to make this connection, I thought that was unworthy of even a junior social science paper. It was a shallow analysis, and I think America was ready for a black president back in 1996 with Colin Powell. What they weren't ready for was a black liberal, and the two things that really paved the way for Barack Obama was, plain old politics, welfare reform, and the decline of the crack epidemic in the urban communities that was driving urban crime. That took those issues off the table and allowed Barack Obama to run for all of America.
Okay, so you're saying, maybe the Huxtables not so much responsible for the fact that the Obamas are in office. I can definitely see that, but you really can't ignore the fact, a few things, among which so many young voters in this election really came of age in the 80s when the Cosby Show was on the air. We were watching it. Jamie, you were probably watching it. Do you think that it all plays into this Huxtable effect?
I absolutely do. I'm appalled at how many years have passed because I can't believe it. And I certainly was watching it. It was must-see TV. And, I don't know if it's worthy of the old gray lady, the New York Times, but I wouldn't make light of it either. I think Barack Obama and his family stand on the shoulders of so many great leaders like Martin Luther King, but also leaders in entertainment who shifted the paradigm of what we think of black entertainers to be. And Bill Cosby presented an image of black America that had not been seen before on American television. I remember very well it was considered revolutionary at the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
yes, people did say there aren't black families like that, and we black Americans know that of course there were. But the real significance, I think, in terms of the Times piece and this conversation we're having is that white Americans for the first time became entirely comfortable with black Americans and the black middle class. And you'll remember there was an explosion in the sale of black Cabbage Patch dolls that coincided. And I think a comfort level came to be that we hadn't seen with soap operas, that we certainly hadn't seen with shows like The Jeffersons, other presentations of black America. So I think we shouldn't make too much of it, but I certainly think it has an impact.
But there's a caveat there. If Hollywood wants to take credit for Barack Obama through this television show, they need to take responsibility for all of the negative images in between, from gangster rap to the Bratz dolls to Britney Spears to all of this vulgarity that's being heaped on young people. If you want, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're responsible. You can't say you're responsible for one thing in terms of purveying positive images, and Bill Cosby deserves that. But you can't then say we're Hollywood, we're behind Barack Obama, but we're not responsible for all this other stuff that's been denigrating our public sphere.
AJ, I don't think that you can lump Hollywood together. I mean, I think you give credit to Bill Cosby and to the network that he ultimately persuaded to put that show on the air. He pitched that show in previous years. And of course, the negative images of black America were there and still are there.
Still remain.
And Barack Obama wins despite those. And the problems that we have as a community continue. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's entirely irrelevant in shaping perception. I think TV is incredibly powerful.
No, these are all good points. And let's at least then lighten it up and stay with what is tangible, because one of the striking Cosby Show parallels, you have to see this between Michelle Obama and Claire Huxtable. We have two very stylish women. We have loving moms, both attorneys, incredible role models.
Beautiful.
Beautiful women. Amy, I mean, these are amazing parallels, regardless of what you think of the influence it may have had. It's interesting.
I think that Bill Cosby was a very powerful, influential man in bringing these images forward, and that parallel with Michelle Obama. But I think that we know that the first black president was always going to be someone from a very high-achieving family with a high-achieving wife. I mean, that's what it takes to get to the White House. So I'm not necessarily surprised. I'm tickled, and I'm happy by those comparisons, but I don't think I would put too much into it.
what it takes to get to the White House, no matter the color. Let's be clear about that. And also, let's be thankful that at least Barack Obama does not wear the same colorful sweaters that Bill Cosby wore on the show, which were great in the 80s, by the way. Let's move on. Also new right now, Hollywood's Obama mania. Nowhere was it more obvious than last night in New York City at Glamour magazine's big event, their Women of the Year Awards. Showbiz tonight right there, along with Nicole Kidman, Fergie, Deborah Messing was there, Kate Bosworth, a lot of young stars too. America Ferrera, Natalie Portman, all talking about the impact that the election had on them and other young people. Let's watch.
It's so incredible, and it's exciting for a generation to have a leader that is someone that's a role model for us, as well as being just in charge of everything that's important to us and to the world.
To be in the country that's still basking in the glow of this historic election and this amazing year where all sort of glass ceilings were broken. And I think that my generation has been awoken to a new passion to be aware, to know what's going on.
All right, Jamie, it's hard not to be struck by how passionate these stars are about Obama, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I was there, actually, AJ, and I have to tell you, it is an incredible event, in part because of the nonpartisan spirit of it. Hillary Clinton was honored, but so was Condoleezza Rice. And these two beautiful women that you just had on, America and Natalie, were only two of many who mentioned the historic events of the week before. In fact, the editor-in-chief, Cindy Levy, spoke of it as well in her welcoming remarks. So the spirit in the room was incredible. And again, really not about partisanship, which is what I think we're about going forward in America. It is about all of us coming together to make this the best country that it can be. Getting back to the earlier conversation, black or white, male or female, whatever your political persuasion, we all have to come together. And it really came together last night at those awards. It was an incredible celebration.
And I think the enthusiasm from Hollywood can go a long way to helping bridge the divides that exist now. Amy Holmes, Jami Floyd, thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it.